Jalapeno, our vision is to build a world where individuals and companies can reach their full potential. To help our clients in this vision, we're committed to providing them with all the services and tools that they need to reach this potential and work towards creating a fulfilling and meaningful life at the workplace. We do this by leveraging technology and psychology to help our clients develop essential skills while also creating sustainable and humanized work environments. To fulfill our mission, we have a team of experts in consulting, coaching, training, as well as counseling that leverage our proprietary software to unlock the team's potential.
Welcome, everyone. Over the next 45 minutes, we will be talking about high performance. Whether that high performance is at an individual level or a team level, it's something that we all strive for and always have room for improvement in. Managing in business today is challenging. Teamwork matters to your business success because it creates positive relationships that support trust, productivity, and innovation. A successful team requires solid leadership, communication, and access to resources, but it hinges on these coming together through people. Apathy, disengagement, and burnout is real. COVID-19 has exacerbated things and really tested our resilience. With all the pressures we've been experiencing within and around us, we may not even know what high performance looks like anymore. We will be able to apply the right energies and resources to achieve success. By the end of this event, you will be able to recognize how pressure changes team function, understand the dynamics, understand the characteristics of low-performing and high-performing teams, and explore strategies that will enable better results for your team. We are very honored to have Dr. Steve Ingham as our guest speaker to share his extensive knowledge and experience with us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Steve Ingham. And over to you, Steve.
I'm really excited to share with you some ideas and some thoughts that I've gathered from the last 25 years of working in the world of high performance. My role is in support of other people to excellence, to high performance. As a scientist, I looked for everything that might allow me to be Olympic 100-meter champion. What's the smallest change that you could make, perhaps even the least effort, that could make the biggest difference? And you know what? Actually, that's how it felt, being awarded the Olympics on our shores. We've got the games, and it felt incredible in that moment. And then you go, oh, we've got the games. And there's a sense of realism that suddenly punches. And now there's no real difference in the events. There's still 100 meters as 100 meters. We don't go to Sydney. We don't go to Beijing. We don't go to Athens, these luxurious places. We go to Stratford in the East End of London. And the big difference, though, is hope is very different. We hope that we get this right. We hope we don't mess this up for all the people that are connected and embedded into this mission. The world's eyes are looking upon us, and we want to deliver. The families are all connected so much more because it's close. The media whip the whole thing, and that all boils down to a change in internal and external expectations. We feel it ourselves, and it's imposed upon ourselves. I want to tell you a little bit about after the Olympics, because I think that potentially could be more relevant to sustaining success going forward. It's not just about the peaks, it's about maintaining your performance too. So to put this into context, the London Olympics, Team GB, the team that I led the science operation for, won 65 Olympic medals, 120 Paralympic medals. And we all summited our Everest and took a big breath in and went, wow, that was incredible. It was such a high. And then we go, right, now we're down. Now there's a big lull. and you experience a lull after any big high, and we always ready our teams for this. Now, what happens normally after you host an Olympics is that you reset the medal expectations. They're about 10 to 15% lower. Not our government. No, they asked for more. So I don't know how familiar this is, asking for more with the same resources. Actually, a little bit less. 66 Olympic medals, 121 Paralympic medals was the expectation. This is our goal. This is our target. And I looked around and said, we can't do that. We can't do that. No nation's ever done that before. I looked around at my team, the 250 scientists, and they all said, no, that can't be done. Along the way, in pursuit of the London Olympics, the one before was Beijing. This was when we actually had a real step change in our mentality about our teams. We were focused on aerodynamics, training regimes, psychological skills for the athlete. And then we turned around and said, well, actually, you know what? We expect so much of them. They should expect the best from us. How about if we got on a mission to establish high-performance teams so that they had the best resource around them? This is the difference. The happy stimuli versus the sad. Happy were able to persist for longer. They found it easier. They found the journey easier. Sad found it more effortful. And this isn't about us necessarily just putting on a face and a facade. This is about us thinking about how do we turn up every day? What's our focus so that potentially we can perform when it matters, when we're connecting with our team, when the push comes to shove? And we thought, actually, you know what? We're probably turning up at the track and actually meaning that athletes are going slower because of how we behave. Qualities of high performance teams. And so we did a big piece of work looking at the trends over time of those teams that succeed. They outstrip expectations versus the ones that don't perform to expectations. And I share with you the qualities and characteristics of teams. So first of all, we'll go with the not so good. This is the underperforming team. The first quality that we noticed was that the team moved apart under challenge and under pressure. The bonds between them fragmented. And so for us, it's big competition time. That's when the heat is on, and that is when teams got found out. So you might be going along all very nicely and comfortably, but when the pressure comes on, when the challenge comes on, the bonds get tested, and for an underperforming team, it weakens. There was a high level of blame. So you had the finger pointing, it was your fault. And you also had the inverse of blame, which was, it wasn't my fault, which basically means it was your lot fault. The poor behaviors were accepted. So the leaders and the managers, when poor behaviors were demonstrated, they turned a blind eye or they stepped forward. They didn't actually manage those particular behaviors. There was a distinctive lack of trust in the team. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. Lack of norms, psychological norms, so the principles and standards of the group. When we asked them, what are the norms in the group? What rules do you live by? They said, we don't know. And low levels of empathy. And just to put this into context, I'm a scientist. I'm thinking, I want to focus on the edge, the innovation, the bits that are really shining gizmo. And now I'm thinking, you know what? If I don't reset and go back to some really deep core human function aspects, then I'm going to leave performance on the table. So now I'm thinking, what's the science of us developing high levels of empathy? We called these corrosive behaviors, ones that erode bonds within the team. This is a picture of Brazilian footballer Neymar. I'm sure he's a lovely chap, but he doesn't demonstrate high performance behaviors on a pitch. You can see him there. The body language is blaming the opposition or the referee or the ball or the grass. I'm not quite sure. He's blaming. There's a blame behavior. They do the opposite. They pull tight under pressure. It's a bonding. It's a strengthening of those bonds under pressure. There's high levels of trust, which was marked by a spontaneous bringing of others into the loop when you didn't need to. There's high levels of collective accountability. So you heard things like we won or we lost. They were in it together. A strong sense of norms. Now, there was two distinctive aspects here, and I'll come back to this in my final thoughts. You can either let it spontaneously arise, the norms. You can just see if they get there eventually. Most of the teams actually worked at it, and they spoke about it, had the conversation. What are the norms and the principles that we're going to live by? There's high levels of psychological safety. Now, this is a concept that has got a lot of interest recently. And this is about, I understand that I'm able to take a risk without it coming back to bite me. And so that comes as much down to role clarity, understanding what your purpose is, but also from the leadership. And high levels of empathy. When we said, what do you know about each other? They talked about the times that they invested in understanding and appreciating each other's perspectives, as well as understanding that someone was into motorbikes or wine or whatever it might be. Distinctive aspect of a high-performance team, distributing the praise. Went on a mission, finding out what does it take for those that go into space and these peak maneuvers, the special services that do these peak maneuvers. What are the team characteristics? But we also spent time with ambulance workers that have to perform minute and day and hour, and also environments like, so we wanted to find the peak and the everyday performers, and we found that the same characteristics came out. These are the characteristics of high performance teams. Just changing gear and considering our people first before we're talking about projects and plans. So a couple of closing thoughts then, just to provoke your thinking as we finish, and some questions. Human performance, if you're thinking about high performance, you're thinking about human performance, it puts humans first. And that's not just treating them like machines, like computers, that you put something in and something comes out. We have to be cognizant and understanding of human emotions, attention, cognitive load, rest and recovery, fatigue. If we don't, then we're going to leave performance on the table. Excellence exists between you as much as within you, and I think it's all very easy for us to think, how am I doing? What am I focused? How am I judged? Actually, we need to be thinking much more about the dynamics between us, because high performance isn't just about an outcome, the glory and the accolades. It's about doing what you can to improve the dynamics between you, because the dynamics is where the gold is. High performance can arise spontaneously. It can just exist, and we pop up, and we find teams all the time where we just go, that was great. What happened? I don't know. So unexplained winning is a bit of a sin in high performance. If you can create those conditions for it to arise, then you're being much more intentional about increasing the probability of success.